So a lot of people come up with different definitions of who Jesus is, and what his role is in our world today. But this afternoon, I'd like to bring to you something that I think encapsulates the work of who Jesus is in our lives. And so I'm going to read to you from Hebrews chapter 4, verses 14 through to 16. And it says, "Seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passed into the heavens, Jesus the Son of God, let us hold fast our profession." And so from this verse we learn that Jesus is the great high priest. And if you know anything about the Old Testament, they had high priests, which were regular human beings that performed the work of cleansing the sanctuary and atoning for the sins of the people. Whereas here Jesus is referred to as the great high priest, and we understand why he's great. It's because, as it says in verse 14, that he is passed into the heavens, and that's in reference to the heavenly sanctuary. And so from this verse we come to a conclusion that Jesus is our great high priest that's working in the heavenly sanctuary. And there's more. In verse 15 it says, "For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin." And so here we draw another difference between Jesus as the great high priest and the high priest of old. Whereas they would have been tempted and fallen to sin at significant points in their lives, Jesus was without sin. And it's interesting because the verse says he was tempted just as we are, but he is somehow sinless and we are not. Verse 16, "Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need." And so here we're met with a contradiction, because we're told that this Jesus is a great high priest, but we're also told that he was tempted just as we are, but he was without sin. So in a sense, we're like him because we were both tempted, the difference being that he remained without sin, but we are still sinful today. And the contradiction is that we are called to ask for help, to obtain mercy from him. But it's a strange thing to do, because we're obtaining mercy from someone who has gone through the things that we go through daily, but we fail every day. And yet that contradiction is what makes it so powerful, because he knows what it feels like. He can sympathize with our hearts and our souls. And in this very verse, we're told to come as we are, bringing everything that we are and all that we go through to him. And so from these verses, we have a short summary of the role of Jesus in our lives today. And I hope that this will be a blessing to you.